In 2022, there were 1 million unoccupied dwellings in the UK, which accounts for about 4% of all the property stock in the UK. This is just one of those homes, and I'm here today just to go through this house and just have a think about what empty homes are doing to our economy. In weather like this, they degrade so quickly. You can see mould up here, damp kicking in just here, a big issue with the ceiling, and this lean-to, which is giving a lot of issues to the old external walls of the property. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to see this, because this would have been an amazing family home for someone not all that long ago. Like I say, they can go backwards very quickly if the wrong people are living in them for a short period of time. Then they get left to the elements when they're empty, and things just then end up being in a downward spiral. And it's not just this one. There are thousands and thousands of properties just like this all over the UK. I'm based here in Leicester in the Midlands, and I deal with this sort of stuff on a regular basis. And it's not fun to come and see homes like this that would have been amazing family homes at one point or another. More issues here on the ceiling of the bedroom. The UK climate just does not lend itself well to leaving houses like this empty because of just all the moisture there is and the cold air. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And the sad thing is, it's not always people just leaving them empty because that's what they want to do. Some people are forced into this situation. And what we've experienced recently with the changes in interest rates, changes in landlord taxes, changes in cost of living, it's forcing people to make decisions that they maybe don't want to make. Take this property here. It was tenanted for a long period of time, but because of interest rate hikes and things changing for the landlord over the next 6 to 12 months, they're looking ahead and thinking, we can't afford to do the work on it, but we can't afford to keep it either. So it's pushing them into a decision to sell the property, but they need to sell it empty because it's going to get more money for them empty, generally speaking. But that means there's a house sat here now with nobody living in it. So there's not the money coming in for the landlord. There's nobody living in the property. They're then not spending money in the local economy. Nobody wins in this situation. Nobody at all. And I think the most sad thing for me in this particular property is this was going to be somebody's future. They bought this because they intended to move to Leicester at some point later in life. And because of family circumstances, they're now having to sell this property probably at a loss from what they originally paid for it and how much money they spent on it. There was planning permissions in place for extensions. They had grand plans to make this their family home within the next 5, 6 or 7 years to move from where they currently are. And that's just not possible now because of what's happened with interest rates, changing their own circumstances. It's a really bad situation to be in. So look, I'm a big one for blasting people for leaving houses empty, but it's not always that simple and that easy. And I want you to take into account that when you're looking at empty homes or homes that need work doing to them around where you live. It's not always people that are just leaving them there to go to rack and ruin whilst making loads of money elsewhere. Sometimes the circumstances are absolutely awful that are meaning that house has been left empty. And whilst I don't have an immediate solution for this problem, maybe some of you do, or some of you got some thoughts on what could be done to help these people that have got empty homes sat there that they'd like to sell, like to do something with, but just don't know where to turn and where to go. We're doing our very best to get this property marketed and get it sold. I've had a viewer here today who wants to come back for a second viewer, but needs to come back with his builder because of all the work that needs doing on this particular place. So we'll get them back next week and we may get an offer. Just hopefully we can pull something together for all parties. And I think that's about it. As I finish here today, just giving you a very quick tour of what downstairs looks like in this property that has been vacant for a good number of months. Just have a think about it. Like I say, comment on what you think could be done to this house. It does have some permissions for some extensions out here, but just the issue in general with those empty homes that I've talked about so often over the last few weeks and months. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully together as a country, we can solve this housing problem that we've quite obviously got at the moment. This is just one of many. fingers crossed, over the next few years, the government and local housing authorities and just people like us can help and get things sorted.